Hello aspirants, I'm Indumati Karthikeyan from Inkara AS Academy. Today we are going to see about the 18th November current affairs which is taken from the Delhi edition. The topic is international relation between India versus Nigeria. So India and Nigeria will join hands to tackle the terrorism, piracy and also the drug trafficking, which is comes under the topic of GS2, bilateral, regional, global groupings and agreements, which is involving India and are affecting India's interests. First of all, we must know the news that PM Modi talks with Nigerian President Tinubu focus on boosting the strategic ties, that is India and Nigeria strategic partnership, focus on the defense trade, energy and also the counter the terrorism efforts with a commitment to global development. PM Modi offered India's experience in agriculture, transportation, affordable machine, renewable energy and also digital transformation to Nigeria, according to the Ministry of External Affairs. So, first of all, we must know India as having a coastal line of 7,000 kilometers. That is, which is makes it vulnerable to various threats such as piracy, terrorism, smuggling, illegal fishing, environmental degradation. Indian is a product is the coastal and also the offshore assets such as oil and gas installation, fishing grounds, and also the ports. From these threats, Indian economy depends largely on the sea, as over the 70% of its trade value and nearly 90% of its trade volume is carried by the sea. India also imports most of the energy needs from the sea, especially from Gulf region. Therefore, India needs to ensure the security of the freedom navigation of the sea lanes of communication, that is SLOC, the Indian Ocean and beyond, which are vital for its economic growth and energy security. India's strategic interest in the Indian Ocean region, which is home to many friendly cooperative country as well as potential adversaries. India has historical, cultural, and diasporic ties with many other countries. Now, recently with Nigeria, in the IOR, that is Indian Ocean region, we are investing in the development also for the security reasons. But we have so much of challenges in it, that is asymmetrical tactics, gray zone warfare, and also combat drones, land attack missiles. So first of all, the asymmetrical tactics, the use of asymmetrical tactics has observed Ukraine's action against Russia in the Black Sea. That is the China deployment of maritime militias in the South China Sea introduced a new dimension of the maritime security that involves unconventional and unexpected method that may not follow traditional military strategies. That is a gray zone warfare. That is gray zone tactics which fall between the conventional and unconventional method present challenges. Accordingly, responding effectively of these tactics often exploit legal and policy ambiguities. Such as tactics include covert operations and also the showed open conflict. There is a combat drones. So the utilities of combat drones adds a new dimension to maritime operations, enabling states and non-state actors to conduct reconnaissance and also surveillance. There is a potential carry out attacks. There is a land attack missiles nowadays is mushrooming in its capacity. So the deployment of the land attack missiles at sea poses a direct threat to the maritime security. This includes the uses of missiles that can target land-based facility from maritime platform, challenging the traditional notions and also the sea-based threats. There is unconventional threats, that is illegal fishing, like maritime security is threatened by the illegal fishing activities that can deplete marine resources and also undermine the livelihood of coastal communities. Example, fishing in Indian waters by the Sri Lankan fishermen. And also there is a natural disaster, increasing frequency, intensity of the cyclones, tsunamis pose significant challenges for the maritime emergency response efforts. And also lots of polluting agents like oil spills, plastic wastes poses a environmental and economic threat to the maritime issues. And also so much of trafficking, illicit activities like human drug trafficking, arms and ammunition trafficking through the maritime routes contributes to insecurity in the maritime domain. And also there is a many impacts on the climate change. Rising sea levels gives a disproportionality affect less developed states, like vulnerable to the environmental changes on also the weather events. There is a zero sum competition into the Indo Pacific. The perceived zero sum competition among powerful nations in the Indo Pacific identified threat particularly for the development world. The competition may divert attention and resources away from addressing the security concerns, that is littoral states of Asia, Africa, and also Southern Pacific. There is a zero sum competition in the Indo Pacific in terms of refers the idea of interest of action of the US and China in the region are mutually exclusive and also incompatible. So there is a lots of challenges for us, that is lack of coordination, reluctance to cooperate, and also there is a information sharing challenges. There is a littoral states in Asia, Africa faces challenges in coordinating their efforts of combat maritime threats, that unequal law enforcement capabilities and also varying the security priority hinder effective collaboration. That is, Asian countries are often show reluctance to call out China's hegemonial actions in the South China Sea, and also there is a reluctance to cooperate. Some littoral states resist the maritime cooperation with foreign agencies, aiming to reduce reliance on external assistance and also impede the development of comprehensive and coordinated security measures. There is also a willingness to share information. There are limitations in the extent of the collaboration, what states often sharing only the minimum required common security goals. There is a many securities initiatives taken by our Indian government, that is capacity augmentation of maritime security agencies, that is includes modernization of expansion of Indian Navy, Coast Guard, and also the Marine Police to enhance the capability for the surveillance and also the patrolling of the Indian maritime zones. It also involves a acquisition of advanced platform system and equipment such as aircraft. It also involves the acquisition of advanced platform and systems equipment such as aircraft carriers, submarines, frigates, helicopters, radars, and also these satellites. There's an enhanced technical surveillance of coastal and offshore areas also planned. That is coastal surveillance network, national command control communication and intelligence network, and also the national automatic identification system to identify the missiles, and also the national maritime domain awareness project to give the awareness to the coastal region people, and also aim to provide the comprehensive and integrated picture to the maritime domain, and also enough timely detection or also response a threat to the incident. There is a establishment of the mechanism for interagency coordination. This includes the creation of various bodies commitments such as National Committee for Strengthening the Maritime Coastal Security. There is a joint cooperation center, coastal security also available for that. So we aim to facilitate effective coordination and also information sharing among various stakeholders involved in the maritime, such as Navy, Coast Guard, and Customs Intelligence, fisheries, and also from the ports. Then it will give the more info about the anti terrorism, anti piracy, and also for the drug trafficking. The integration of the fishing and coastal communities includes of implementation of various measures such as issuance of biometric identity cards and also installation of the transponders, and also there is a distress alert transmissions to conduct the community awareness. So now, how to take into challenges overcome by the enhancing our maritime security cooperation among like-minded countries, and also developing a common code of conduct, that is a set of norms, rules, a mature maritime domain based on the principle of the international law, especially on the United Nations Convention on the Laws of Sea, that is UN clause laws. Such a code of conduct can help to prevent the manage disputes, reduce tension, and also promote the confidence building measures to the people along among the maritime actors. That is strengthening our role and capability of the Coast Guard. That is, they can play a vital role to enhance our maritime domain. That is awareness, safeguarding of our sovereignty, and also rights of coastal states that provide the humanitarian assistance and also the disaster relief. And also we can address the root cause of the drivers of non-conventional threats, like we can address our poverty, inequality, corruption, governance, and also the climate change through sustainable development. There is a regional integration and multilateral cooperation will conclude the maritime security. and this is a committed to maritime security that has initiative like Sagar, IONS to navigate the evolving landscapes. So, India capacity building and also the international cooperation only give the protection of our coastal lines. Thank you.